Hello, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a Across the Streams shading puzzle, and I'll have the instructions on the screen so you can understand how to play if you're uncertain. Alright, first thing I'm seeing here is the 5 in the middle of the screen with a question underneath it. So a question's at least one large, and then it separates by at least one. So we know that if the 5 starts at the bottom, it will go up by 5. Or if it starts at the top, it will come down by 5. So it's always hitting these squares, and it can be any combination in between. No matter what, it will connect with these two squares. So it's a good place to start. Hopefully we can find more freebies like that. Okay. Where are we going from here? So these question mark 4s, there's a lot of them on the screen here. There's 3. So if we use the same logic as the 5, we don't get anywhere because 4 can be placed in either side of the center area. Like this is 4, and it's 4 over here as well. The one thing we do know for certain is that the 4 and a 5 can't be next to each other completely. So we do know that the 4 either starts down here, goes all the way down, or it starts here and goes all the way up. And how we know that is because you can't have a 2 by 2. So it's on one side, and the 5 follows suit, going the opposite direction. So that we do know, since that is the case, that one of these question marks is only one high, and it starts at the very bottom. Now, since we know it starts at the very bottom, it's only one high. I wonder if we can get anything from this 4. So one of these could be a question mark or the 4. That doesn't really help us a whole ton down here. I'm going to continue with this. So let's say the 4 goes up. A lot of times when doing these, it's easier to just kind of place it out and see how it looks. So we're finding everything that's forced from this. Well, I already see a problem. So this is not possible. Reason being is because 1 would go here, then this 5 right here has no place. The best possible scenario is it starts at the top and comes down, but then you got a 2 by 2. So we'll back up all the way. So we know the only other option is this, which allows the 5 to go in here somewhere. Which, since a 5 can only be this high and this low, we know these 4 in the middle are definitely black. So then we'll fill in the extra spaces that we know are done. Let's continue on here. Same thing with the 4 here with a question mark under it. Now that we know the 4 can't be in this square or below, it'll have to start here or above. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the same from the top gives us these 2. 3 in here. So the asterisks, I kind of just pretend they're not there for the most part. But so I'm looking at this one here. So this is part of a 2. We could go one more over and get 3. That's the only possibility. So this is part of the 3. So we just have to find the question, because there's no room to make a 3 in here and then a question afterwards. So this is definitely part of the 3. And another thing you have to look at is you have to connect all of the black together. So let's see if this helps us at all. So this could be the part of the 3 here, this could be part of the 3 here, or it could connect and be a 3 together. So we can't really get a whole ton from that, but there's no room for a 4 here. So that has to be. Because if this connects here, it will still be in this block, and if this goes this way, it will still be on this block. So we know the 4 is part of this. So we're able to go one further. And you always want to make sure you fill in the green pieces, because that helps you a lot. So you do those right away if you're doing one of these puzzles. Now this is the 3. This can be part of the 3 still, or it doesn't have to be. Making sure I'm looking at everything here. So we do know that everything does have to connect. So there's still a question mark here. Which it could go on the bottom. I'm trying to think. So this is part of the... well, it's not necessarily part of the 4. Because this could be a question mark here, and then the 4 could fit anywhere along here. So we don't have anything. This cannot... it can't be both part of the 2. Doesn't give us anything. Okay, question 3 question. There's no space to put a 3 in here with a question. So this is part of the 3. We know it goes 1 over. Try not to miss anything here. So we still have... oh, this is part of the question mark. So we can auto-fill in this square right here. Because the 4 can never come down this low. Because we already have 1 on the bottom. We know that's the question. Let's see. So we do have room for a 3 question down here. So this is not necessarily part of the 3. So we can't just fill this in. Where should I be looking? Okay, I see one thing. This question 3 question. 3 can't be down here because there's a question below it, and the only other possible space is right here because it can't make a 2 by 2. So that fills in that, and we actually get quite a bit from this. Quite a bit meaning just this. We don't get anything else, I don't think, till I see it. So this is interesting. This is not part of the 2. But the problem with asterisks on both sides is literally the 2 could be here, there could be a bunch of random stuff, and it still works. So this could be the 2, 2 could be here, it doesn't really matter. So this gives us no information until there is only one place that can be a 2, and then we're like, okay, we can solve. This is our 3. Yeah, there's no other spot for a 3, so we did finish our 3. I guess that's what this gives us as well. Finishes up the 3. There is a question after this. This is not part of the 4. Oh wait, we already knew that. 4 could be either way. Do we have any more information for here? It doesn't look like it. Trying to scan everything and coming up short right now. We know there's space for 3 here. There has to be 4 here. This is part of the question. I got something. Okay. We know this 4, or this question mark right here, ends here. The reason being, because if it doesn't, then this goes here to not make the 2 by 2. Your 4 goes over here. There's no room for the question. So we know that the question is only 1 block. This solves this bottom row. Well, until we figure out the rest of this, obviously. But we do know you auto put 1 above any closed off spaces. What I mean by that is the black has to connect to the other black, and the only way it's doing that is by going up. So you auto get 1 square from that. So this is part of the question mark. We don't know how long it is. What do we have here? So there's no room for a 2. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you can't place a 2 and then a question after that. So this is the question, this is the 2, meaning the rest of this is blank. 3 question. So we can't put a 3 here. Wait, we already did that. So that's the question. Ooh, here's something interesting. Okay, since we blocked off this corner, what does that tell us? It tells us this question mark right here is in one of these two squares. Well, we already knew that. But in one of these two squares that has to connect to this. The only way to connect is by going this route right here. So we got our 3, and we automatically have this because that's the only possible way of not making a 2 by 2 and connecting and finishing up our question mark, which gives us this square. Well, we should have already had that square because of the 2 by 2 rule, and we could have figured this out in multiple different ways, and I think I chose a roundabout way, but that's okay. So in this case, we don't have to put the black up here, even though that's one of the only routes it can go, because the black goes all the way through and can exit here or here, and here, I guess. But so that doesn't give us anything right now. Question mark here. It's at least too tall. It's either going to be too tall or go over here with this question mark, but I don't think that really gives us anything. One thing to always look for is a question mark that when you have too many spaces, too many different numbers, I should say. Okay, we got our question mark here of 1, or 3 of 3, a question mark of 1, and there's an extra, so you always connect them. So that just finishes this up, and the question mark can be any number, so you always know. Well, that's an easy way to get some more squares done. Let's see here. So this is part of the question over here, so we know this separates. I should have done that earlier as well. There is room for a question 1, 3 for this. For a 1, 1, 3 with the 2 questions. So we can't really get anything from that. This is a 2 though. So yeah, this does connect over or goes up. Possibly both. It can't do both because of the 1 restriction. There's no space for a 1 question because this would have to connect here. So we know it connects over here. If that doesn't make any sense to you, if this went all the way, if this was blocked off and this went all the way up to try to connect, there would be a 1 here and then a question nowhere. So that's why I know there is a black here to connect to the rest. And the same, actually, we can use that same logic, I think, to say that the only possible place for a 1 is here or here, making it impossible for anything to go below that, right? Unless, let me think about this for a moment. So something goes below that. It could connect out this side. So we should be careful. We don't want to theorize on what that could be. Right. We have a 3 here. That's nothing. A 2 here. 2 could be here with a question here. This could be a question, so we don't have anything there. Oh, can fill in this because there's a question mark already at the bottom, a 5 up here, nothing in the middle, so you know it's blank. Oh, right, this is part of the 3. There's a lot I could be filling in. I'm pretty slow these days on getting these. A lot slower than I used to be. We know this is done. Filled our 4. This is empty because there's nothing in between the 4 and the question mark. We can't do the 5 because there's an asterisk above it, so and it's going to have to connect somewhere anyway to get these 2 connected. But what else does that give us? That doesn't really give us anything else, does it? A 3. A 3 doesn't fit anywhere besides here, here, and here. That doesn't help us a lot. That's 3 spots. Well, what else do we have? We haven't satisfied our 2 yet. So 2 here possible. This would have to connect here for the question mark because it can't be a 1. Then it'd be blocked off completely. This is not definite, so I might come back. Just seeing if it's possible. This would be blank. 1 of these 2 blank. That's just fine. I'm not seeing a problem. So this can be our 2, or this could be our 2. Does this make any problems? Not really. Okay. Well, let's move on then. Man, I'm not seeing what I should be seeing, apparently. Okay. I've got something to think about. This question mark here, can it be over here ever? So if it was right here, it'd have to connect on one side. Ah, man. Oh, I've got something. This has to be a 2 here. Reason being is because the 2 can't be right next to this because it would make a 2 by 2, and then this would be too high to make a question above it. So here's our 2. What does that give us? And now it has to come out somewhere. We know it can't come out the top way, so we know this happens. And why it can't come out the top way is because this 1 over here, we already talked about that earlier, because the highest possible place for the 1 is here, and it makes a green here. Okay, so we know this connects on this side, so this 1 is part of everything. What does that give us here? I feel like I'm just not seeing something I should be seeing. So this can't be a 1 here. You can never put a 1 in a corner because then it would make another 1 green, and it would be trapped. So we know the 1 is here or here. The question mark is here, here, or both. Let's see. I think that brings us back to, can this be a question? I think this helps now. So if this is a question mark here, it has to get out somewhere. Is this a possibility? I'm thinking so. I think that is possible. No, it's not. Because this question here, it would have to come all the way through once you put a 1 here. Have to fill in everything. So what does that tell us? We have a question mark here. So if a 1 is here, and a question mark, this question mark is either one of these, let's say it's the top one, anytime it connects, it'll have to go through the whole entire thing. So that tells us the 1 is here? Is the 1 there? Let me think. Yeah. Yeah, the 1 is there because otherwise it makes it 2 by 2 if the 1 is any lower. I just had to figure that out. Okay. Took me a few minutes. Well, hopefully not a few minutes, but definitely several seconds. Question mark here. That means this is the 2 because it has to come next. We should have done that anyway. Goodness, I'm slow at these. Okay. 3 here. So this could be the 3, so we don't have any other things we have to do in this row. 4 either way. We're almost done with this puzzle. Just have to get the last couple things out. We don't have a 2 on this row. Okay, not bad. Got a couple more things to do, and then That's it. So this could be the 2 restriction, and then the question mark above it. I think that's possible, at least as far as I'm seeing right now. And we don't have our 1 done. Wait a second. Question, 1, question. This is blank. Okay, that solves that part. 3, question. So this is blank here. 4 can go either way. So there's no 1 yet. So once again, we have the 1 question over here, and we know there's no other numbers. There's just a 1 and a question mark. I have a feeling this doesn't connect because I feel like we have to come over to connect it. But I'm not certain yet. Oh, we don't have a 2 yet. There we go. That solves that part of it. This 2 right here and a question above it. There's no 2 yet. There is a 2 there. That means this one is blank after because there's not another number after the question mark. This can never be connected now because we added 1, so it would be 5. So this is always. Okay, now we have a 1 and a question mark. Has to connect. Can't connect there. We have our 1 restriction right here, and then this connects. And that should be it. I don't know how long it took me, but I'll see when I put it in the editor, my video. But let's make sure it's correct before we go anywhere here. And there you have it. It looks exactly the same as far as I can see. And that, like I said, I don't know how long it took us. Here are the times for a Grandmaster, Master, and Expert. But hopefully we got above an Expert. I was getting close to the Master when I was doing them a lot. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.